and reply with some of your own.
Yeah, going to be easier said than done. No matter prep can get you ready for this. Renegades, they have been thrown deep in the ocean, and, well, the speedboat's back on land, Harry. Sharks swimming round, and Entropiq are ready to lock out Renegades from this tournament, kick them out, and go forth to face Mouse. It would take a miracle for anything else. But we don't see Renegades on this map often, so let's keep that in mind. Let's see what they've prepped for this one. 1x bet odds, more than happy in saying Entropiq are the favorites in this game. And I would be inclined to agree. Walking out middle with a loud A-take, Molly behind the plat box, and that's nice, can easily go unchecked. There's far more angles you have to worry about now on this site. Walking out middle, aliStair's going to spot it, but he doesn't know there are players closer. Nice tap for aliStair, but they're really up close now. Whoa. Doesn't matter, 3 shots to the face of Entropiq, and suddenly Renegades have reason to believe.
Yeah, Krad, I mean, to say the odds are against him, that looked, yeah, you know, he just kind of stops moving there for a moment. It's all well and good, you know, 1v5, he wasn't really fancying his chances anyway, and he does just get tapped out at the end of the day. Lovely stuff from aliStair, though. Let's talk about that, right? We often say, like, these AWPers in pistol rounds are often a real threat. They know how to use these sidearms, and bro, like, aliStair just pistol whips 3 guys in the blink of an eye. Beautiful scenes. Gonna need a bit more like that out of any kind of hero player that can emerge here for Renegades. Sicko was trying his best back on Nuke, but he really was the big threat at the end of the day. And if you dealt with him, you suddenly felt very, very comfortable. Entropiq, just a little eco round here, a B pop. And while they deal with the first man, it should all start to unravel now. The bomb's going out into A, and hello.
Pick a plan.
Hello, they find him. Sicko comes back.
That's weird. I don't know what info Elian had there, but if you're going to go for the rush B plan A, I think you just stick it. You have to gamble. You're going to be open to something. You know, he might have actually got that money there if he stuck it, but it's not the end of the world. Just means a little less util in the first buy round for Entropiq, but yeah, they are more than comfortable here on Ancient. They have so many maps played, man. I mean, their last game was against an Aussie team of LFO, who are also here in Europe for the time being right now, so they've been around the block. They've done it before. Let's see if they can repeat a very recent history. Little late mid-take. Got that donut smoke. Got to run with this one, or walk rather, there it is, and now Entropiq taking that mid-control. It's going to cut aliStair out, it's going to force him to make his call whether he wants to go or give it up. He gets flashed in, it's a nice flash by Ins, and Nickelback's gone. aliStair swings out for more though. Could have given it up in a 5-on-4 and leaving mid would have been nice, but it shows a bit of confidence from the Renegades, and when their backs up against the wall, it's better to see them play like that than play scared. Sicko going to drop his smoke to keep some time on this A site, and Entropiq are wrapping him right now from middle as well. Krad's got a B pick, and this is all over the place right now. Entropiq are fragging on every department, so Renegades are going to have to try and get info or make a gamble. They lean back to B. Liaz deleted, even though he looked ready for that angle, and now the rest of Entropiq grouping up on the site that is stacked.
But you know, you're feeling so uncertain in whether or not this is the right call. You will just gamble, commit to it at this point, right? You lean into a save, they go anywhere else. And they're starting to walk back towards A. Now they spot Lucky, setting up this flash, although it did blind Ins as well. And so he's dealt with. Sicko, they're all around him, and they just clasp down upon him. That was the bomb cut loose, pushing long.
That would have looked really nice if Ins was ready for the flash. I don't know if he called don't throw it. All I saw on the cam is he was looking along down the line at his teammate. Maybe trying to see where he was from another monitor's perspective, but that was very awkward. It would have been a really nice way to deal with a backstab, and then it would have freed Renegades up to actually fight for the bomb site. Instead, they just get collapsed upon through their own making. And 4 pistols in this round as they walk A main with nothing to lose. Ooh, little dink. Forrester barely tagged.
It's a very misleading dink, actually, because you hear it and you see the head go whoop, like back up in the air. And now you might assume, like, okay, he's low, we can try deal with this. Deagle has found Nickelback, and Forrester's like, okay, I don't want to give them a reason to win this round. They shouldn't have one. And so he repositions for a moment. He's still tapped out after one of his own, and Krad is just about able to flick back in middle. All in all, though, this has been a pretty successful go at like the full eco with one Deagle in play.
I mean, if Krad dies there, suddenly there are 2 AKs, and there's a reason to retake for Renegades, who will have a bye next round. So, yeah, absolutely could have gone wrong in a myriad of ways, but instead Bomb Plant comes in safe on B, and with CT control taken with a long line taken from Elian, there's no way back in for Renegades. aliStair can throw himself through this smoke. He's got Mach 10, try and make money, but I would like to see Sicko save this gun. Hatz is on 1,400 bucks, so no reason to lose the AK as well. In they come. aliStair wants an exit, and Elian will clear the corner. 2-2 now, Entropiq. Very good on this T side, very experienced, and so while Ancient has often led itself to heavy CT-sided games, I'm not sure if this will be one.
Yeah, I will say though, like, you know, from playing this so much, Entropiq do have a fair few tells, a fair few tendencies, right? And that's all stuff you can look to use against them if you're Renegades.
Yeah, we saw that in their prep.
Yeah, and well, exactly, right? They've got all those sheets of paper. I'm assuming those aren't just for the cameras, right? Like, they've definitely got an idea of what likes to happen here for Entropiq. And like one little detail that I think everyone should keep an eye on is oftentimes when Entropiq take this B site, you know, you'll see some teams kind of fall back and play within cave, play towards ramp, play around the bomb denial. Entropiq actually quite like taking long away and quite like playing for CT. A lot of times when they launch these B plays, they will just immediately commit to the long angle to try and take that real estate. And so there are ways you can try and use that against them. Over in this round, though, lane control goes the way of Entropiq early. That is essential. It opens up so many opportunities for both Ts and CTs. Whoever has it is in a really powerful position, and so Krad will just be the man kind of safeguarding this lane control outside of the B site. Mid getting taken, Forrester back in main. And so at this point in time, like with mid controlled, a bit of presence outside of either bomb site, you have so many options here. You can play very reactively based on the info that these mid players pick up and any picks that they're able to get. That smoke's nice, but you've just heard the dink land, and so they keep spamming it. Liaz, very unlucky, and now they're wrapping CT. Sicko hits a bit of a blinder on the 180, but he can't follow up with anything else. And Within's dead right away. It should just be a save at this point in time for the Renegades. Entropiq, even then, they're still taking players out of the ranks.
It's a land peak for Krad on middle, right? Just swinging into the angle a second later than Inns, and on the perfect position, 3-on-1, and Hatz trying to save, but they know where this AWP is. And even though I don't think Entropiq are going to take it, they are playing very loose right now. They are all over the place. They are fighting for mid, A and B at the same time. So why not just keep it on clean rifles on this T side? Krad, he's not even going too far either. He'll wait for Hatz to make the mistake. Flash goes over, Krad hunts, and Hatz did dodge it. Double kill would be massive. Now he's getting chased from behind, going for that AWP. Always going to be pretty close. He has to get in cave if he wants this AWP, but no, dead to the flank from Elian, and that's absolutely fine there for Entropiq. They don't mind losing players as long as they take everyone for Renegades down with them. Nice little idea there from Renegades to smoke the molly in middle. It diverted attention for a few seconds in that cubby position, but ultimately changes nothing. And Entropiq was pretty brutal A-splits right now. Renegades only often having one player there. They need that donut player to live just to stop the split potential on this A site. Mid so far has not been Renegades all game. They've won one gunfight from it, and in that gunfight, aliStair got traded. So again, smoked off our Renegades out of middle. Short molly, not going deep enough. They won't be ready for Liaz, but P250 is precarious, and he won't be able to get away with a kill.
Kind of a shame. It looked like they wanted to try and fight for lane this round, right? Yeah, they only have pistols, so you may as well, right? They set up in cave early. They've got a flashbang on Inns, and he was waiting to throw that in. But now that you've lost Liaz and you've given up cave, you can't actually play to take it like you wanted to coming into this round. And with it, there should be very little chance of getting away with much here. Sicko's in a nice spot over in Temple. Not terribly uncommon to see this mollied, and Nickelback is holding one out right now. So Gotta bear that in mind. Instead, it's going to be a backside molly, trying to flush out anyone playing default. Sicko, this means he will get away with a kill. Now onto the AK. Can't find anything else past that point, however. His teammates have moved in, ready to take up arms in Temple. But it's In's leg, shot out from underneath him, leaving it on aliStair. Swinging out first man. Oh, can't make it a double. Lackey saves his teammate's life, and with it, likely the round is its only Hatz, USP, all alone in a world of pain, in a world of Entropiq's making. 4-2. Gonna be up on the board when that buy comes in next for the Renegades.
But it is super entertaining to watch a team so well versed on Ancient. We heard the devs talking about this in previous segments, but it just doesn't feel like there's a best team in the world on this map right now. It doesn't feel like anyone is consistent. NIP tried it, and even though they had some good wins at the start, there were definitely some balls dropped, some games lost to teams who hadn't really fielded any officials on it either. So it's so hard to keep it consistent. And only now are teams really starting to figure out the depth of this T side and the options that are provided with it. So, Entropiq certainly could be a way in. When we see a new map get added, some top teams like to stray away because they want to sit back on what works, what they know works. But at the same time, if you're an upcoming team, if you're a grinding team like Entropiq, playing a lot of these online cups, playing a lot of these matches every day, this is a perfect way in to just have such a huge veto advantage, and also to take down top teams who maybe want to lean away from this one and focus more on the what's comfortable, what they already know. So, yeah, Entropiq looking very, very good right now. Renegades with a buy, though. Double orb, and I'm usually all for it, but I think they might have problems with this mid-control if they want to send an AWP over there. aliStair could take it donuts. That's an option, but it is still getting smoked off with Entropiq have more than one man lurking it. If it's just Krad walking out on his own, then yeah, it's typically just a top mid smoke. Right now, Entropiq leaning B, and there couldn't be a worse round to have a double orb than this.
Well, I mean, you say that, mate, so Sicko had the spawn for like a main peak. Very risky. I thought he was going to do it. That would have been early info, but instead, you are kind of at the full mercy of this B play, and you don't feel a willingness yet to peel Sicko away. You don't want to give up A before you spot that bomb, and now they have aliStair and Ins trying their best. The molly keeps aliStair very pinned in, and they're even going to deal with Hatz running that smoking cave. It's a triple opener by Krad. Just might have extended this lead even further. Sicko's going to be left saving. Didn't even get a chance to fire this AWP. He's going to bring it with him into the next round instead.
That was so bonkers because Renegades had really good util down ramp to start the round, right? They had double molly, they had a nade to follow, and Entropiq smoked like 2 Molotovs, but it's one player just running. I think it was Lackey running right up ramp. Complete disrespect. Doesn't even get flashed in, doesn't get set up, doesn't get traded, just runs in and kills the first player in the bomb site. And at that point, it's just a waterfall. And because Renegades have heard all these smokes on the mollies, they know that Entropiq can be cave, they're carrying their back, and they're just getting 1v1'd on the bomb site, and Entropiq are winning all of them. Nice AWPing attempt from aliStair. He was in the right place, but only 2 kills, and it's going to be a nice triple entry for Krad to get it done. 5-2, and Justice saved AWP on Renegades, rather. Bit of this and that if they want to invest, but Krad's keeping it clean right now.
All right, Hatz, I see you with the Mag 7. Oh, there's the AWP gone. Elian sees you with that as well. Oh, dear. That was like the one chance to make the round interesting. Just dead immediately in middle. They really want to get the AWP back, and Elian is aware of this. They do manage to snatch it as he throws the Molotov in. Hatz trying to get close to ramp, nails the first shot with the mag. Now having to play back in the site. This isn't ideal, but he can look to make it work. Only one as Nickelback provides the opener, provides that trade. Smoke on short has a big gap, a big hole in it, and Inns is Deagle. Gonna take another man out of the round. This isn't over yet because they've got this AWP. Put it in the hands of aliStair with the game he's having. You thought maybe he could give something over, he could give them a chance. But he snuffed out right away. That little glimmer of hope extinguished by Entropiq.
Yeah, Krad just moonwalked into the open there, but he didn't even realize there's a gap on the short smoke. And I think because he's just moving so slowly into that angle, aliStair slightly overflicks. And Krad, where you don't get 2 chances against this guy, you miss your first, he will knock you out in the second. 6-2, and nothing to save either for Liaz. It's been smoked in lane, for crying out loud. But going any further would mean he dies to the bomb. So it's kind of lose-lose for Liaz, just trying to save his Deagle armor. And Entropiq build some more on this T side. Is there a weapon to grab? He didn't get one in time. He even died right at the end to Elian, actually, with the AWP, who is still long, very sweaty. Entropiq have had enough of Renegades in this game, and that much is very clear. aliStair and Sicko both buy up the AWP. But just look at some of these shots from the T perspective. They are not giving you more than a millisecond to react. Individually, Entropiq are outclassing Renegades, and definitely in the strategic department as well. And we haven't even really seen that much shown on this T side. They've had some very fast, loose B plays. They've been lurking out middle. I'd like to see Renegades start heavy mid, get some util in, try and get ahead of these smokes early and actually win the middle battle. And they can just cycle smokes and keep Entropiq out for as long as possible. It gives you the option to jump up lane as well, fight for B a bit better. Because right now, if you let Entropiq continue to run these B rushes, you are in for a world of hurt, especially with the double orb. We've already seen the saves attempted in these rounds.
Yeah, I think it's kind of scary that so many of these rounds have come at you so quickly. Like one of the best ways to try find a way in as a T side on Ancient is to wait for the utility to come out early on. And it's like, whenever we've had these fast rounds, you know, that's not even been a factor. Entropiq, like, I don't care if they're smoking. I don't care if they're flashing us or Molotov in these angles. We're going through and we're going to win it. You know, like, even from spawn, so much util is dedicated usually from the get-go, right? It's not uncommon to see CTs drop a doors smoke out of spawn directly to smoke mid from the start of the round. And so, like, you imagine, you know, the round begins and essentially, like, the CTs have used half their util before you've even made a move in just taking standard map control. Little flash into red. Entropiq very keen on working this mid control. Some teams will just kind of let it sail on by, but Entropiq have consistently used it to come in on these wraps. And
they don't even know.
Yeah, no one's aware that they're in tempo. Oh, now it's been come across and Sicko's had to reposition. You are screwed and Ins can't get away. The A site falls, and once again, you're looking at this, it should be a save. That is the right call to make on paper, but you don't really want to write this one off. You've had to just concede so many rounds so far.
And Krad's still late lurking mid. There's no way to save, there's no route, you got to go B. But I've got to say, that is beautiful pathing for Entropiq. Like, that is such a that is a dry run strat that has gone exactly how they wanted it to. They get top mid, they flash through the smoke as it fades, they throw a smoke on the B side, because, you know, when you hear that mid has been taken like that, you're more so expecting these B wraps through this lane, through this hallway, but that's smoked off. Entropiq throw it from bottom middle to smoke off where we are now in CTB, and they just run through temple. And we saw Sicko close AWPing A main. It's kind of a nice angle, but I think Ins realizes, he hears them running through temple. He goes, mate, I don't have you. Like, I'm watching CT spawn right now. I don't even have temple. They could run behind you. Sicko turns at the worst timing, though, because the second he leaves the angle, they walk into it, and then he just has to no-scope or he's dead. And, well, turns out both is the other option. Ins is stuck in the middle of the site, traded from main. And if anything, you know, not that Sicko made a bad play, like he's just going off the communication from his teammate, but if he hung on the angle, maybe he goes 1-for-1, Ins goes 1-for-1, and suddenly that's a very different round. But just the panic calm of Renegades of your back is open, you're going to die, and he was enough to wreck the setup. Very, very nice round for Entropiq, and now they just go for a full flat BXX from Forrester.
Oh, but a nice detail here. aliStair and Sicko have already pushed A main. You know it's the B play, and they're going to commit to a wrap very, very quickly. Ins is rotating over as well. If these players in the B site even can trade evenly to slow this down, that would be huge. But I can agree with this. They're not facing. They are just tucking, and they're waiting to see what this flank, if anything, can accomplish. Krad deals with one component of it. Are you ready for the other part, though? Sicko over at ramp is going to come as a bit of a surprise, you'd imagine. Might have to play trigger discipline here. Instead, he fires off right away, giving up this wrap round. They know about it now. No longer is it just a big question mark as to where this man is, and the rest of his team have been deleted in the meantime. That is a brutal round to get dealt. You know, you had all the info, you knew it was the B play, But you're just left so far removed from the site. The guys in there not trying to fight, wanting to play the 5v5 with that wrap. And you saw what happened. The moment they lost aliStair, that first component of the flank, the first component from that A main push, it kind of forced gunfights out of the other guys. You know, you didn't want to just have that go 4-on-5. Suddenly, Sicko, like, you need him to kind of get 2 or 3 on the wrap round.
And you mentioned this earlier, right? In the CT taking, the long taking for Entropiq, it's exactly what they go back to. They don't throw like a BX sec where you double smoke long short, which can be dangerous because you're going to get spammed through. CTs will boost AWPs over. No, they just throw one long molly. They don't throw anything short. And Lucky walks all the way through with a cave smoke where Renegades are trapped. That's twice now they've been trapped in cave on B pops. Lucky just walks through CT and kills the rotates. Like, it's so oppressive, and it's probably not what Renegades are used to as far as a B execute like that goes. Now an AWP playing a little more safe. aliStair back in Temple gets a shot and backs out wisely as he's going to post up for the cross instead. Good follow-up, re-aggresses in Temple. He knows Lucky's close. He's keeping the pressure on ins. Nickelback will help out. aliStair needs to pick his angle and stay on it. 3 shots and 3 kills. He's going to run the molly to find Nickelback, but he's trapped in the boxes, and aliStair gets all 4 on the site. Beautiful round out of the AWP, and it's all Renegades needed to get back on the board. It had been some time since. It's been essentially a flawless T-side ever since the second round. But yeah, Entropiq lose 1 round to a hero AWP, and they're probably just going to go back to what's been working. I like how even when they get away with murder on these mid takes, on these B executes, they still keep it fresh. They're still trying not to play predictable. This is just more of a standard AWP round, right? Instead of Sicko playing danger close A main, which is a very risky angle, aliStair just has so many different points of contact. But it's not the end of the world for Entropiq. They have absolutely blown us out of the water on this T-side already. Anything else is just bonus.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the T-side, the rest of the CT side could get won by Renegades and you'd still be going, oh, well, Entropiq have just had a phenomenal T-side. Like, they've already done everything they have to do. Anything else on top of it at this point is just insult to injury. Hatz going to win this fight in cave and now look to escape. Now escapes, that's fine. And now the main push is back in again, only this time much more opportunities for this to do damage. They're going to send Sicko into mid. Elian's dead, back turned, and he falls on the mid lurk. This could lead you to discount Lackey. I don't think there's a point in your brain where you're going, it was probably just one guy middle. There's no chance that there's anyone else, so they will send Hatz back to keep an eye on this. Forrest has opened up the B play, and he's pushing solo with the bomb, the madman. Lackey now hits this timing out through middle, and there's the long wrap that we so often talk about. Forrester gonna put us back in a 2-on-2. They don't know about aliStair. They don't know about this deep flank. Are they ready? They still get bested in the head-to-head by the AWP, and it's the IGL, Nickelback, left in the clutch. First man falls, and now just Sicko left to beat. Smoke on the bomb, and the bullets connect. The defuse is in, and Renegades, they do manage to find a 4th.
I'm not sure if Nickelback knew the plant there either, right? It's not for cave at all. It's way better for the ramp, and not only that, but he also got saw on the death cam going back after he killed aliStair into the cave. So very aware was Sicko, and I think the timing there is super awkward for Renegades because it looked like Hatz had called, yeah, mate, I've got CT. I've moved in off of that A site after, you know, they go for the aggressive middle round, and that's when Liaz turns around from watching CT, but he was still open to it. And while Hatz technically had the wrap, it's that second that Lackey peeks deep into that CT lane and essentially double kills, even though it's only 1-for-1. His teammate trades off long with the bomb. You said Forrester was getting aggressive. So it's just constant aggression from Entropiq. They never let their foot off the gas.
I mean, you know, like, this is another one of the Entropiq tendencies on their T side of this map, right? Not only, you know, like we talk about taking the long control over on the B plays, but whenever they have mid lurks, they'll always do something that's very annoying, right? I say always. We've seen fast mid plays where they take red, they sprint straight to Temple, but those are often, you know, there's a very clear idea, a very clear call behind it. If it is just like a solo lurk like we saw there from Lackey, a lot of time they do exactly that. They just get set up over towards red and they wait. And what that does is it just kind of throws all the timings off. You know, there's that part of you that's going, if someone's here, he would have peaked by now. It has to be clear. And it's those little moments where he just delays a play by like 10 more seconds that really throws Renegades through a bit of a loop. This one looks set to be the A play, and with a kill already going the way of Renegades over towards B, maybe there's a chance for them in this round. Sicko at big box. Gonna have to try and swing this as they tiptoe in, as they make their way out, and the first kill found. There's no adjustment yet, but aliEM will flick back and find the man in the sight. Now aliStair here with the AWP. Last time he got 4, this time he only needs to get 3. It should be easy, right? Smoke down and in his way. And that means the plant can come in for Entropiq.
It's wide as well. They're spamming and nading default. That's not the case. Boost back up for Forrester, and he avoids making wood steps as well. So Renegades might not know about this one. Gonna have to see if they clear it. Very good position for a multi-kill. aliEM's tucked in temple, ready to take a shot back out, and there's the shot, but he won't connect. Hatz is gaining space. aliEM's missing shots. The rifle needs to help out, and it's at least chipped away, but Inz has now pushed his way into the site. aliEM finishes what he started, not checking the tree, has been their demise. Double up for Forrester, and aliStair running away. That's 9 rounds for Entropiq, and they finally get it done on the A site as well. It's not been the typical port of call for this team. It's not been a nice place to be. But with the AWP locked out in Donut by a smoke, that's the difference maker. Renegades don't have anyone to fight for the site. And we have nice post-plant setup for Entropiq, who aren't, you know, cordoned off into A main or locked out into Donut where utility can be a problem, right? They have not only the boost player Forrester, but aliEM up close, Nickelback still big box. They just have so much room in the bomb site, and it's all Forrester that's being baited for by those 2 players that Renegades try and rush down. 9 rounds, another rebuy for Renegade. They at least save the AWP, but it's got to come in with huge effect.
Yeah, opener secured, right? Finally, well, I say finally, you started last round in a very similar fashion, right? But winning the mid-fight and Inz taking it one step further, he's decided, I'm going to rein them in a little bit in middle. I'm going to put Entropiq back on the leash and make mid ours.
You'll notice just Entropiq had no util here. They dumped it all so early in the round that it was easy pickings. It was free 1v1s, and that was more what Renegades wanted. Just a chance to play gunfights. And they've made the read as well.
Sicko gonna get the info that both players are here, and the fact that he survives is actually massive. Like, now he's just annoying. Trying to get rid of this MP9 is gonna be a real nuisance, and it's like the MP9 isn't even top of your priority list in terms of what's here to ruin your day. It's a full rotate. Part because of the spot from Sicko, but also Hatz had fully committed to the wrap through B lane, so you knew that was the A play at that point in time. Renegades, they're saving a bit of face here, right? They're finding some CT rounds, but they are really going to have their work cut out for them. And even a 9-6 T side is monumental with how Ancient often goes. So Entropiq are already in a really good spot. And to think it could get even better before this first half closes, it's a worrying sign of the times, all right. Nickel back out into mid, bested by aliStair, who has been the one consistency here throughout all of these rounds. And AWP able to get involved. Find the opener. And now maybe slow Entropiq down a little as well.
Oh, this gap. alice is working with it. They're way wider than he's ready for. Lackey just keeps swinging on each missed shot. And Donut now belongs to Entropiq. Its position they've not harbored too often on this T side. Hatz is just waiting on that smoke fade. Lackey finishes off inside of the A site. And a 4-on-3 now, with Entropiq walking into the 1-free position. That's B. Hatz is still tucked here in cave. They should know about a B player. Not only did he throw the smoke earlier in lane, but also every time Entropiq have taken B, they've locked players into cave, in a cage. Liaz turns after one, thinking he's getting backstabbed, and you can barely blame him with some of the flanks we've seen in this game. But that's it for Entropiq. 10-round half, and it's beautiful. They are ancient kings right now, and they're looking to knock Renegades out of the competition.
getting to the main stage for sure, like Cologne, would be really, really good. Yeah, it would satisfy us to make it to the main stage.
Is 5 to their name, and the energy is going to be all that and more if they somehow want to pull this back from the wheelhouse of Entropiq. The odds massively in favor of Entropiq. Goes without saying, if you know numbers, you'll know that already. Nickelback in the dualies, a tale as old as time. Forrester trying to bait them in, get them close, and then let Nickelback off the leash with the big guns.
Renegades very patient though. Poking their head in and out, showing some face at least, and it looks like it does want to end A. They're waiting to see if Entropiq are going to bring any aggression, and they have. Renegades just don't know yet. Still about Nickelback. Hoping they get flanked. Finally, the kills are going to come to them. This is exactly what Renegades have been waiting for all around, and Forrester's dead. Nickelback finally set up to succeed. Needs something special. Keep spamming, keep and keep killing. It's 3 from Nickelback. Swaps out as well. He even has a Molotov. Screw it, let's just fight them up in the face. Molly traps them in. They're going to chase him. It's ring around the rosy, ring around the cave. And finally, Inns will win that fight out, but at what cost? 30 seconds. They have no map to play with. If they want to go back to B, they've got to sprint.
Yeah, they've got to start making noise, and I think this is largely why we're seeing Elian reposition to where he is now. He'll be able to hear these rotations as they're coming in, and at this point, he'll hear it. He should com this across, that he can hear them setting up outside of the B site as they get closer. He's going to get this info as well on the spot, and there's the first man dead. The bomb dropped. 10 seconds, and you're locked in this fight that you just don't have time for. Even if Elian doesn't get that second kill there, it still would have been an Entropiq round all day long. But let's home in on the real hero of that one. Nickelback over in main, over in cave with the dualies, dude, just firing off full spam, full 30 rounds gone out of them.
I love how Forrester so badly wants Nickelback to frag out. He's like peeking and baiting and waiting, and they won't come. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to die for you, buddy. You have to kill them, though. And Nickelback, he'll live up to the hype right there. 4 Glocks now. And we may have heard Renegades getting pumped, but this might be their tournament life on the line in that next gun round. Entropiq have shown quite a nice Ancient today. And we haven't even seen what is often the favored half. I say often, that's because for Entropiq, at least off the numbers of the rounds they win, they actually win more T rounds than anything else. So definitely a rarity, but that's the experience showing off.
And, you know, not only that, I think that kind of comes with the territory, right? Like, normally, if Ancient is in a series that Entropiq are playing, they're picking it, which normally means their opponent get that CT start, and still they're able to run over them, which is impressive. This should be a clean round. It was always destined to be a clean round. Krad wanting to make some money. And he's in with 1,200 of the big bucks now. Only Sicko left. And would love to do even a bit of damage, but it doesn't happen, does it? Just mauled over in the double doors. This is where the investment's going to come through. And really, if you don't find success immediately, you might not ever find it at all. And that would put Entropiq in a really good spot. You know, if they go 13-5 up, it'll be another partial buy at best for Renegades.
It's done. Yeah, it's done if they win the gun round.
Exactly.
Especially with a bonus, especially with 2 SMGs. Like, it's as good as done. You know, we're giving Renegades the respect they deserve in this game, but right now, you know, with Nuke looking so one-sided, and this map being an even better one for Entropiq and one that we have no data on for Renegades, it was always going to be hard. This is something else, though. They got 6 rounds on their pick. They've yet to reach that mantle here on Ancient. But like I said, bonus round, there's always a way in. And we don't know what Renegades have been prepping behind closed doors in those scrims while in Europe. Let's find out. Leaning back to A. They are going for a mid-take, but already we see a lot of util coming in for Entropiq, and like you will deny that space early, so it will just have to be this A-Crawl. Krad trying to fight for middle from lane. He's going over the top of a smoke, though, making sure no one's out at the B-bomb site. And so a lot of information, even though it's a bit of fake, a bit of a ruse. Hatz is still waiting behind the doors, but that might not matter if his team get mauled walking out A.
Yeah, minor detail there, but that flash made two players have to jump away from main, and so this Donut player just heard two guys like stick the landing in main, and he's called, yeah, you don't see anything at B. I just heard two. It's looking like the A play. So there is like this very early triple lean towards the A side of the map. And Lucky, this MP9 does get caught out lining up nades, just trying to get away with as much damage as he can before they make it into the site. The bomb all alone, and with it dropped to Nickelback over in Donut, problems start to arise now. Hatz's wrap has been given up as he misses that one opportunity, and so Inns is really feeling the pressure to make a bit of a stand here. Only one kill found. And a 1v2 for the lone Renegade. Nice flick. First man found. Low HP on Elian, but he can't get it over the line. Hats off for the flick to the first man, but sadly can't complete it, and that was the bonus round attempt for Entropiq. My worries are sky high for Renegades right about now.
Yeah, what a call for Entropiq as well in that 3-on-2. They spot Hatz on the flank. Like you said, he needed to get that kill on first contact there, but as soon as they see him, all three players swing the A main player just to get rid of him, just to leave Hatz in another undoable clutch. And you know, they don't let Renegades close the net on them. They make sure that they free up so much more room. We also see the danger of, you know, Sicko trying to fight Nickelback in Donut, how dark that angle is, how hard it is to see opponents there. Running through the B smoke, it's desperation right now for Renegades, and a Glock out for aliStair is just delaying the inevitable. He's had a good game. He had that massive 4K round with the AWP on A, but he might not ever get to show it in this half. We'll come out for one round at least, but Entropiq are ready to string the noose up right now, 14-5. And even though this is a shame to see Renegades go out in such a fashion after getting such a great game out of them on the opening matchup against OG yesterday, this is also mad reassuring for a team like Entropiq, who I think have high expectations of themselves coming into Katowice after such a great ending to the previous year. There are so many teams looking to gain these next 4 spots to the group. 10 teams alive today in the tournament, and only 4 can make it forward to the group stage.
Yeah, you know, I mean, reassuring for Entropiq, sure, heartbreaking for Renegades.
They keep doing this as well. The Donut player has these amazing lineups to lob flashes. Nickelback, even that's the first time he's killed off of it, but every round he's coming in cave and he's going for these deep lane peaks, and Renegades have no warning to dodge these flashes. Entropiq have so much stuff, so many little tricky ways to get opening kills on both halves.
Yeah, I mean, it must feel infuriating, right? But this is the nature of the beast. When you're up against a team on their home map, where it's one that, you know, maybe you're not as well versed on, you were always going to get bullied a little bit here.
Lucky just gives them mid. Have it. Ooh, and they'll take it.
Yeah, they seem pretty happy with that trade deal. aliStair locking in the pick to get them to red. The bomb's actually up over towards lane, and so Liaz has had to take the risk of going up to get it, and with Inns holding off cave, he's at least saved the bomb down in middle. Sicko dead, and this is starting to spiral. The double push through Donut drops the bomb. aliStair moving back in, but a double swing. They just count down. That's like a 3, 2, 1. They peek it together, and now only Inns, 15 seconds, needs both kills. First found, but can't connect the second. Once again, it's another one of these clutch attempts that comes down to the wire, but ultimately is closed out by Entropiq. Mate, like, imagine how Renegades must feel. Day one, OG their opponent. They come back from 11-5 down. They make it a 15-13 affair. It goes to OT. They end up losing that 19-16. You're maybe in your head a bit there. You feel like you could have closed that out. You go, don't worry, full focus, still chances, still opportunities. You get bullied on Nuke, your map pick in the series, and now you come to Ancient, and in these last like 2-3 rounds, there have been clutches that you could have won out. There's There's been chances, there's been opportunities, but you are just falling short. And I mean, it's making Katowice more and more out of reach by the second. Just 4 deaths away from elimination from Katowice. And Liaz, well, he's fired up. He doesn't want that to happen just yet. He wants to savor every single second, every single round. And he's at least secured a route into A.
Yeah, smoked out, but Krad, the one position, he runs through and guns down 2. Hatz is going to try and stay up, flashes through the donut smoke, in they come, and in they shut out Renegades, even more dominant than the first map of the series, and it's no shocker. Entropiq, they are looking luscious, they are looking ready to make a run here at Katowice, and they have one more match to separate them from the group stage.